Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. And tonight, Pamela is not here, but Jenna's here, and I'm here, and we're going to talk about the reunion part 2. Guess what number episode it was, Jenna?
21.
20 freaking 1.
Was it really?
Yeah.
21. Can
We
you
had
do
assumed-
something for me?
We
That
had
was a
assumed that it was going to be 20 episodes, but of course, they wanted to push it one more week so that next week, the Paramount Plus World Championship is going to air, and they have no weeks off. Just like the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, he always says no weeks off. That's like his motto. And that's what they're doing with the challenge. They don't want us to live 1 week without some version of the challenge in our face.
This is going to sound bad because I love doing this with you and obviously love all of our people who watch us, but I need a break.
I was going to say, didn't you? You probably wanted a week off.
I probably want more than a week off. I probably want a month, maybe, like you said, to live a little bit as if like our entire world revolves around the challenge. But I mean, these episodes are long. They're at an hour and a half, and they're every week. And the season lasts for 4 months to the point where you don't even remember who's on it by the time it ends. So yeah, I need a little bit of like just a mental. Make me miss you, the challenge, make me miss you, and then I'll come crawling back. But
they
now
want it to be like a all year round sporting event, basically, because you know damn well when the Paramount Plus World Championship ends, they're going to air All Stars 4 right after that.
Oh, God.
So you're never going to get that break that you want. Now, hey, look, feel free, take a week off or so, but you hear it in the comments section, Jenna. Jenna, you're the only one that's reasonable with all of your comments. Dan goes off the goddamn rails. He thinks he could be on this show. He sucks. But you're the words, the reason. You are reliable. You are blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
You found the one person who has ever said that. And that's not true. I definitely.
They did say it, though.
That one person. Thank you, my one person. Thanks, friend.
There you go. But yes, so I am back. We were talking pre-show about my wedding festivities. Everything went great. I'm officially married.
Yes,
Someone in the comments asked, what's the name of my husband? I was like, well, I married a female, but okay. I think they were joking. I don't know. We've mentioned Stacy a bunch of times on this show. I guess Stacy technically could be a guy's name.
True. Yeah.
So maybe that's where they're coming from, or they're just trying to make fun of me, which is fine too, I guess. Stacy just texted me that I'm being very loud with my talking. So I will
happy marriage. Congratulations to you two. You're hitting it off already.
Stacy, my female wife, is texting me that. You also you can watch my marriage ceremony on my sister-in-law's Instagram at Lila Roberts. And so if you want to watch it, she posted it. She filmed it live. So people that my family, because a lot of my family is far away from here. So she filmed it. So my grandmother couldn't make it because she's just really old. She's 89 years old. So they filmed it for her. And then, of course, a bunch of other people found out. So a bunch of people watched it. And then Lila put it right on her post. So it's like her latest post on her Instagram, which is cool.
So you can go
if anyone out there wants to watch it.
And see if he cries. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if you cry. Don't kill the lead.
Don't kill the lead? Oh, boy.
No, we're all about teases, and also hopefully they are fulfilling, right? Like we always talk about. So
I don't want to give anything away. All right, well, let's talk about the reunion part 2. There was no need to split this into 2, by the way.
And I disagree with you. I disagree. And I almost texted you with like 10 minutes left. And I was going to say this reunion, wow, it's super jam-packed. And then I didn't because I was like, let's just wait till we get here to talk about it, because I'm wondering if you have a different opinion.
A lot of the stuff I liked, but there was some things that they talked about, which like I didn't need to hear. Well, we'll get to it. I'll tell you the ones. There's a few that I'm like, there's no need to reopen this bag because there was nothing on the original episode of any content. They just reiterated what we already knew, and they didn't answer the question when asked the question. That's a big one for me. We'll get into it, though.
I think very few. There was very few weak points or points that you would glaze over, but that's how it goes on the reunion shows. Every second.
Oh yeah, it's hit or miss.
But for the most part, I was totally locked in. And this is a knee-jerk reaction right after having watched it, but dare I say that it was more entertaining than a lot of the episodes we got of the actual season, just in the way that people actually spoke to each other, confronted each other, emotional, real, raw, blunt conversations instead of what we're seeing on the show that feels very kind of edited, soft, tiptoeing around. This just felt like, wow, people are actually like exposing how they feel and having real conversations. So it was, I was definitely
No, and I
entertained.
don't mean to say I didn't enjoy it, but I do still feel like they could have done an hour and a half episode last week, but they didn't want to have that 1 week break to go into the Paramount Plus one. They wanted to keep it, so they split it into two. Notice they split it into 2 1-hour episodes. We've seen
Yeah.
reunions where they filmed it in one night, and they did, but with 2 hours, they just put 2 hours on and ended the season.
Or remember some of them that were like a half hour? Remember when things were just really short?
Well, remember when the original Real World was only 30 minutes long too?
Wow,
And
no,
then
honestly, no.
yeah, I do. I was in college and my friends would get together every week, and it was from 10 to 10:30 over.
Wow.
And we thought that was
That's
like
awesome.
amazing content. Now I'd be like, only 30 minutes with like
Yeah.
three 2-minute commercials sprung in there. Like that's like no content at all. But yeah.
Yeah, this is a sidebar, but I think it's hard to maybe match the asks of the streaming platforms. You know, if you're a production company, if Bunin& Murray or MTV is making this, and or Bunin& Murray makes it for MTV, and they need to fill the hour and a half slot with commercials. Sometimes it's a disservice to how entertaining the show can actually be, right? Like, why? Like, for example, I'm watching Perfect Match right now, and there's
Oh,
some
so
time.
are we.
Oh,
So
you are,
oh,
yes.
100% so entertaining. That's a
So
really good show.
entertaining, but I would argue that I fall victim to the phone test a lot with that show. There's so many
Really?
moments where I'm really entertained and locked in, and then there's so many that 20 minutes go by and me and my husband are like, "Oh, let's rewind that. I was not paying attention
You're
at
not wrong.
all."
I left the room when they go on those dates after they win a challenge, they go on a date to talk. I'll either like leave the room real quick to grab something, and Stacy will go to pause it. I'm like, no, don't bother. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not.
hits
So
low.
you're right in that regard, like for sure. And I'll look over at Stacy, and she'll be down on her phone doing something too. So you're right. But the overall concept of that show is like kind of like a Bachelor in Paradise, but
Yeah.
they're speeding it up quicker than Bachelor in Paradise. Milk the shit out of those conversations, and I'm bored out of my mind.
Right.
Besides the dates that they get after they win the daily challenge, everything else is pretty like, okay, people's attention
Yeah.
spans, it's 2023. I have a million things to watch. They keep it
Seriously.
moving, except for those freaking dates. Yeah, yeah.
And thinking of Bachelor in Paradise, imagine how hard that is to produce. It's an hour and an hour and a half, 3 times a week, right?
It's absurd.
That's just
No
can they
thanks.
live? Can they eat, sleep, breathe, talk
If
to their
Pamela
kids,
asks me
walk
to
their
cover
dogs?
that this summer, I'm gonna respectively decline.
Ah, yeah, that's a lot. That's, I mean, some hardcore
Even Big
fandom.
Brother, when we covered that this past summer,
Yeah.
that was so much content. I was like, what can we just do a one time? And I think we were doing once a week, but you had to watch so much to talk about it once a week.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's give the people what they want. Let's talk about the challenge.
All right, I'm really
Convenient part
interested to
2.
get your first take on this first segment, and that is Turbo's video. I'll give my take after. I don't
Okay.
think we're gonna feel the same way. I hope that we do. Uh, just everything you feel about Turbo. Go ahead.
Okay, my take is I absolutely loved this. I got a kick out of it. I thought this was hysterical. My first question is, who's directing this? Is Turbo the director of his own video with the head turns and the look to camera B and the turn to camera A? So hysterical. I love that he just roasted everybody. It's very obvious that he's playing up the villain, especially in this video. I think in the season, it seemed to be more genuine that he was actually kind of mean. But I think in this video, he's totally playing it up. But you kind of need that. You know, I like that he roasted people. I thought it was funny. I liked Tori's reaction. I don't think anybody should have taken their roast too seriously. There was editing, right? There was graphics. Like, how was this put together? Obviously, either MTV or Bunin& Murray must have helped him out with that and beefed it up a little bit. But I thought it was fantastic.
I have one word for you, Jenna, and that word is ditto. I 100% agree with everything you said. It was fantastic. And yes, he's playing into the villain, and that's exactly what we want. There's no way this dude really hates all these people this way. He's having fun with it. And if any of those people, Nani did, she was the only one that I feel like took it seriously. Everyone else had fun with it. They all laughed their ass off. Tori made the joke, hey, I want to work with this guy next season if he ever comes back. I'm 100% in on Turbo. Can't wait to see him again on the show. This is exactly what the show needs.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one was really funny. I think on the season, he did definitely turn me off in certain ways where he came off obnoxious and it came off, what was this weird character arc of what we saw, this Turbo who was always defensive, but competitive. And it always seemed to come from a place of, again, like just being defensive, not out of being mean. But this season, it definitely felt like a different side of him where he was actually just like this kind of a bad guy.
I mean, remember, him and Nani were partnered together. Like, she like helped him in his first season, leading him through things. And obviously he helped her like probably get as far as she did that season. I know we watched it. I know we talked about it, but like, I'm sure he helped her in many ways where she was lacking certain things to get to that next level. But then she, of course, said, well, I helped him win $750,000. Well, honey, he helped you too. Like, it's a two-way street here. You both helped each other. I mean,
everyone has their own side. So
I mean, she probably had the social, she obviously had the social game down and he did not. His English wasn't even that great and he'd never done the show before. It's a double whammy there. So yeah.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny that when Maria announced that we need to hear both sides of the story, so let's hear from Turbo, let's bring him out. Seeing everybody's faces was great because I did sense a little bit of, oh shit, in a lot of people, right? In some reactions and some people's faces when they heard that Turbo might be coming out to the stage, I could see them kind of like their eyes widening, almost looking like they're backpedaling a little bit. So I thought it was funny that I sensed a little bit of fear.
I never thought he was, did you think he was actually going to walk on the stage though? No. I didn't. I thought he was going to I thought he was going to be on like a live Zoom or whatever with them. But then it was just a video, which ended up being really fun to watch.
Better. I thought the same. I thought it was going to be a live video, but I do think that the people on the stage did think he was coming out.
Okay. Wow, really?
I think they thought he was going to roll up. I mean, why not?
Wow. All right. Let's move on to...
Wait, I have one more question about this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wrote them down, but what was your favorite roast that Turbo handed out?
Oh, well, he kept referring to Devin. He wasn't like a pussy chicken. He was like a
chicken level 2.
Level 2. He wasn't level 1, right? That was my favorite one for sure.
Level 2 was so hysterical. And I also just loved Devin's reaction. He was so happy to be an honorable mention. Right. He was so happy to be named. He's like, yeah, I'm a pussy chicken level 2.
Yeah. So that was my favorite. Was that your favorite?
Well, what did I think was funny? I think this was directed at Tori. I'm sorry, everybody. I missed it and I didn't rewind, but her face dropped. He had said something like, you got 2 social media accounts.
Yes.
Which works because you're fake or something, which I was like,
oh, yeah, like okay. 2 sides to your face or something.
2 sides to your face. It's 2 sides to your face. That's why you have 2 social media accounts. Yeah. I thought that was like a little clever.
Yeah.
What else did I like? It was funny. That said, Nelson, it's better when you don't speak.
Yeah.
And take this money and buy 2 bottles of champagne for Laurel because of the whole champagne situation.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering, like, was there a writer involved in this? Because I thought I really enjoyed all of these roasts. I laughed at all of them.
I think 100% a writing team came to him and said, hey, we want you to do something for a reunion. We're going to write you a script. You can film it. We'll add some fun head turns and shit. Of course. Yeah. It was very, I doubt Turbo sat down one night with a pen and paper like TJ does when he creates his finals. You know, TJ's just there.
Right. He's
like,
the
everyone leave me alone. I'm writing tonight. And he's writing away. Yeah.
I know it's so funny too that TJ is never on these reunions because he's like the heart and the soul of the season. They refer to everything as being TJ's finals, TJ's challenges, TJ's gonna visit you. He hates when you quit. And then when it comes to the reunion, it's like, who is TJ? He's not even
appeared. If you remember, he appeared one time and he sat in the VIP section that they had created for that night, where certain guests came in, but then they weren't on the stage the whole time. So they sat in the VIP section. And TJ just randomly was like just sitting there with his hands out like this.
I mean, at least bring his wife back, right? We have some questions for her. Why were you there?
Yeah. Were you just visiting set one day and the producer said, hey, come be a part of it. We're not going to pay you, but it'll be good
Right.
for whatever your
Right.
brand is for your Instagram. We'll throw your Instagram in the bottom third. I don't know.
See, now I'm inspired by Turbo's roast. So be careful, Dan. You don't know what I'm gonna say to you tonight. Who knows what's gonna come out of my mouth?
Well, I'm about to get to some parts where I didn't care about, and I want you to defend them.
Oh,
The next
okay,
thing
I like that game.
okay, good. The next thing they talk about is it's a Mariah and Fessy thing, but then Mariah and Anisa just start squawking back and forth, and I don't know what the hell the context was. And then someone even says, "Whoa, this has gone way off to another thing," and I'm like, "What are they even beefing about? I can't care about this because I don't know what they're talking
Wow.
about."
So I will defend the hell out of this point because this was
Tell me
amazing.
what the hell was going on.
This was just, listen, it did go off the rails and it was chaos. And I can't totally answer that question
That's the problem,
outside
though,
of
for
that.
me.
Well, it's not a problem for me because this was entertaining. This was a great reunion, a classic reunion moment of two people just yelling at each other out. And again, I like that it brought something into the picture that we didn't see on the season. And that's what I mean is there wasn't this kind of drama or confrontations or these entertaining like moments on the season. So the fact that it happened in the reunion, I went into this episode kind of like, looking at my computer, finishing up some work stuff, but paying attention. And they started with Turbo, which got me locked in. And then they go into this Mariah and Anisa fight. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Is this amazing? This is really good. This is good to watch.
Jenna,
I thought it was interesting to hear the two sides of
but what were the sides? Tell me what each side was.
Okay.
What were they fighting about? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not just trying to do this for TV. I have no idea what they were talking about.
Basically, it segued the transition of Mariah's thought process. This my interpretation is she goes from saying she was voiceless with Fessy,
yes,
because she was locked into being his partner, and there were moments that she wanted to say things to people in the house. There was moments when she wanted to call them out or tell them to shut up, and then she thinks about, for example, Anisa. Anisa did not treat her right. Anisa was dismissive. Anisa made a comment that Mariah needs to sleep with people in order to get saved in the game, that Mariah felt was disrespectful. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But I guess Mariah felt like she couldn't say anything to her on the show. So she's bringing it up on the reunion. But then Anisa's rebuttal is all like, we were at dinner, we were at the hotel. Why didn't you say anything then? Now we're on stage. Why are you puffing your chest now?
Oh,
like,
all right.
the drama. Oh, I'm back in high school just watching.
I wonder, it's interesting that Anisa says this, but at the same time, Anisa, it's like, well, we need to have some context for this reunion. You can't all just squash all your beefs ahead of time. I guess you could squash it, but then what? Just magically get in that fight again to then resolve it again on the show for us. I mean, you're at the reunion for a reason, and that is to bring up issues that you had, and then in theory resolve what you can. Maria had to hurry along the conversation. She's like, well, we're not going to resolve this one tonight. Moving along, a lot were not resolved.
Yeah.
But that one for me was like,
because it could take 45 minutes for people to talk it out, right?
Yeah, and they're probably cutting up these segments too. We're probably not seeing every back and forth. We're seeing Anisa says something at 30 seconds. Mariah's rebuttal could be at 1:30, and they just cut everything in the middle because it was all nonsense. All right.
But I liked seeing the two sides of this one because Anisa defends herself and says, I'm nice to everybody. And Mariah says, debatable. And I was like, oh, okay. Like Mariah's really coming with it.
Okay, so you saved that one for me. I'll admit, okay, there was some good moments now that I'm rethinking about it.
Okay. 1 point to Jenna.
This one, I really think it's going to be hard for you to defend. The next thing they talk about is Nani and Michelle's relationship. And they say this, they say, fans have no idea where your friendship came from. And I'm like, well, that's just like what we thought. We have no idea where this friendship came from. Please explain like why you guys, like where did the friendship come from? Michelle goes, opens her mouth, and then Nani cuts her off and says, no, let me explain it. Right. And then does not explain it. And then it ends. I'm like, wait, so how are you friends? They never said how they're friends, Jenna. I was so lost.
All right, here comes defense attorney.
All right, here we go.
She did. It was subtle and limited, but she said that
very limited.
They bonded over shared grief. Okay, that is a big thing that people can become friends over. Okay, check to defense attorney Jenna. But I will say I had a similar reaction to Nani right away jumping into when Michelle was gonna talk. But I kind of backpedaled. At first, I was like, whoa, Nani, like maybe you should let her speak. But I feel like Nani was almost feeling protective over the situation and feeling bad that Michelle cried. So she wanted to explain where she was coming from. And Michelle seemed okay with it. So whatever, fine with that. But yeah, I liked this because Michelle was acknowledging that that was an emotional spiral for her. And I just thought it was like a fun human moment to acknowledge that and then move on. It was quick, it was short lived.
Do you think they're friends?
I think that everybody on this show sees each other so much. They're always orbiting around each other, social media when they're on the show, appearances when they're off the show, etc. That I do believe those two to be friends, especially in the setting. And I could imagine them phone calls, texting too, as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I see them as friendly. I don't think they're talking much off the show. I don't think they're exchanging these texts and these phone calls like you think, like you say. And that's fine. We'll never know. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But that's in the comment section below, tell us if you think that they're
Yeah, honestly, call us
on a
out.
scale of 1 to 10, how friendly are these two really?
Yes, call us out because I'm sure you guys have their entire friendship history,
Oh,
honestly.
they have the receipts, they have the text messages,
Yes.
they have the phone calls somehow. They recorded them.
Recorded, wiretapped.
They wiretapped them. All right.
Is that in my next case? In my next
Oh no, those there might be one more later on, but that's basically there's a couple everything else I really did enjoy here. Horatio and Fessy.
Oh, go. Yes.
Fessy says the only reason the girls are going after Horatio is because he didn't have time for them, so they would just go to Horatio. I'm like, Fessy, like people defending Fessy. Oh God, why are you guys so mean to Fessy and stuff? I don't know. There's another example though. Like, how many examples do y'all need of why we hate Fessy so much? But like, what was your that was like a knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, this guy sucks.
This
like,
is one of my stuff. This is one of my favorite parts. This is one of my absolute favorite parts of the reunion because it is just so funny that he means it.
He really he's not. That's a problem though. If he's doing it like a Turbo is, where I really feel like Turbo's for trying to be a villain, Fessy really feels this way. That's the difference.
He really feels that everyone's standing in line for him.
Yes.
And that Horatio is not hot and sweet in his own right. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's like, get the fog off your glasses first. It's just an hysterical, like, just assessment of Fessy's. I don't know. I don't want to call it narcissism because that sounds really deep. It's just his tunnel vision of
tunnel vision's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was hysterical.
I mean, there's no doubt, Jenna, though, that Fessy does get girls.
Yeah.
And not only does he get girls, but he's on TV now, so he's getting even more girls than he would when he wasn't. Like he even made that comment about Mariah, and Mariah said it was because she had a boyfriend, but he DM'd Mariah before he had the blue check mark, comes back with the blue check mark. He's getting that hit back. So there is something to that for sure. But all these other people that he's on the show with, I mean, they're already on the show too. And like Colleen's wants to be Michelle, obviously, like Laurel, and then Annalise, I can't even remember that girl. She was with that little short guy from Big Brother.
Yes.
Tommy.
I
call him like Tommy Pickles from Rugrats. He's that short. He's like that small.
He's awesome on TikTok and he's fun.
Is he awesome on TikTok?
He's a dancer and he does his choreographed dancers. Anyway, yes, you're right. Fessy does get girls and he was all over the place. So there is total truth to him saying he can't be everywhere at once because he tried to be. He was trying to do these magic tricks where he was in bed with one girl, would roll out of bed, go on the couch with the other girl, roll out of that couch, go in and hook up with somebody else. So he was trying his best to be Hermione Granger from Prisoner of Azkaban with the turn clock.
Yeah.
But he couldn't be in all places at once. But why do you have to make it a competition with Horatio? Like, what is the purpose of you picking someone out and saying the only reason girls are talking to him is because I don't have time for them? It's like, why are you calling him out? This poor sweet boy is just living his life.
He just takes himself so seriously. And I wish that he could be more of a goofball about himself. And I think a lot more people, including us, would just like that. If he made the jokes and the references about, all the girls want to be, there's not even room for any of the guys in this house. I should be the only guy here. Like, I wish he'd take it to that next level but he literally is 100% he's speaking what he feels is his truth. When it's
Do
like,
you
no,
think
dude, come on, man.
now that you say that, I'm almost wondering, is he kidding? And are we the
No,
ones taking him too serious?
I really don't think so. Like, he in the reunion a couple times said, oh, I was just joking about that. I was just joking about that. He's not, though. And people call him out for like, no, you weren't, though, Fessy. You weren't joking when
Mm,
you said that. You were dead serious.
yeah, that's what's hard because maybe he could be, maybe he is, but all the other examples of his personality don't seem to show that. But at the same time, you shouldn't always have to be funny or always be serious. You should be able to mix it up. But yeah, I don't know. It does seem a little bit like a damage control cop out after the fact, but maybe we're the ones being trolled and we're taking it too seriously.
Uh, Speaking of maybe not taking it too seriously, Tori and Jordan's thing that came up next, where Jordan held her hand, and I
Mhm.
probably took that too seriously. I'm like, they're getting back together. They're in. They're back.
Yeah, and
I'm
you gotta
half
let him
joking,
go.
but like when he held her hand, I was like, I was way too into it. I wanted it to be more than it was. Uh, Clearly they seem like they are finally they've squashed everything and they can just be friends, but there's no hope. They're not getting back together. Like, it's just not happening. So,
Yes,
and they're
I'm
going to appear on World Champions Week
oh,
next week, but they're already back from that.
I didn't
No,
realize Jordan was
I
on
don't know. This reunion was filmed a while ago, Jenna. That's not true.
that.
They filmed this reunion like, I feel like 2 months ago. So maybe they did go film it after, and hopefully we can see some progress in their relationship on the World Championship. It's hard to say. Tell us in the
Yeah.
comments below, was World Championship filmed after this reunion? Because that will give us some hope for Tori and Jordan on that show.
Yeah, I mean, they really do still have so much care and love for one another, but I think it's well past the point of them trying to rekindle. We saw on this
Yeah.
season that their arguments, I think, are just too much to come back from or be in a steady relationship. So I'm glad that you're acknowledging that they're not going to get back together because you do need to let it go for your sanity and for theirs. But I love this moment because it's really, really nice to see two people being able to acknowledge their love for one another and showing that they can still be there for each other, even though they did cause both of each other so much hurt. So
Yeah.
I feel like they just have such a layered, unique situation because a lot of people, when they go through a really bad breakup, they just completely move on and never have to see each other or talk to each other again. They're always again going to be orbiting each other, and to be able to actually like form that a love relationship again, even though it's not, intimate or
Right.
super romantic. To For them to be able to do that is really wow. I'm just applaud them. Yeah.
Good. The next section is hookups. They break down everybody's hookups. This is going to be fun. So we're going to get all of our opinions out on how we feel about each one of these. Is there someone you'd like to start with, or do you want me to just go down the list of all of them?
You can go down the list. We saw most of them
I
on the show.
think the most important one to talk about, though, is to start. So we'll start with it. Is Nelson and Olivia? I think that
Mhm.
one's got the most juice to squeeze.
Yeah.
Uh, because Olivia went on the official challenge podcast with Anisa and Tori, and she talked about their relationship. And there she almost made it sound like it was Nelson's fault, which is not
Oh.
mentioned in this thing, because Nelson really wanted to see her after the show, but she had just broken her nose and she was like, and so she's like, no, I can't see right now. My nose is effed. I just want some alone time. And Nelson apparently got mad at her because he really wanted to see her, and he just wanted to see her. He didn't want to take any time off. He wanted that relationship to keep going. And so then she pushed away. But when they showed it tonight, which is interesting, because I think the official challenge podcast was filmed after this reunion. I'm pretty damn sure.
Mhm.
Tonight, Olivia took all the blame, saying, no, I pushed Nelson away after the thing, not blaming Nelson at all for maybe being a little too aggressive after the show aired and wanting to just see her, and her saying, no, I need my space. I'm going through some stuff. And Nelson looked a mess up there, and I felt really bad for him. It
Yeah.
seemed like he felt that she got advice from everybody else about who he is, instead of
Yeah.
just living in that moment with him and saying, hey, this is who I am now. I'm not that other guy that I was back in his Are You the One days, et cetera, et cetera. So how did you feel about what happened with
Yeah,
them?
I'm glad you brought that part of it up because that is really important that I was kind of forgetting about. As you were talking about that, I was thinking about Olivia's perspective. And to me, it just seemed like she's somebody who's not ready to be with Nelson, or
Yeah.
maybe, isn't as invested in him as he is in her. So that's why she's taking all the blame, because there's no reason for her to deflect to him. There's no reason for her to point out his wrongdoings when she's just so kind of ready to move forward and not still be with him, because they only were on the show for X amount of weeks. And then, maybe she realized, okay, this isn't something that I want to pursue. I mean, it kind of seems that way, but focusing on herself, I think, is valid, and she's just in what she's saying. But the character judgment that Nelson is feeling is really important too, because if he's sensing or if he's hearing that Olivia's getting all this advice from other people about who he is, and he's trying to show that's not who he is anymore, then that sucks for him, because it's heartbreaking that he's making the steps to become better and really wants to show that and prove that to her. And if she's not willing to see it just because of his past or because of what other people say, it adds a whole nother level. It's not just like oh, I'm not into you. It's now it's a character judgment. So that sucks. That's really, really sad for him.
I feel like Olivia took it more as a showmance. I don't think she was looking for anything
Right.
serious. I think Nelson, maybe at this time in his life, he is, or he's just playing into the whole, I'm the nice guy now. Feel bad for me.
Hey.
Book me on another show. Who the hell knows? But to me, it seemed pretty genuine that he was upset by what had transpired. So, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like he was really upset. Like,
Yeah.
really, like almost like shockingly heartbroken, And I was kind of like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Like,
he's usually a little more chill about these flings that he has on these shows. Like, you didn't see him getting this way last season when he was hooking up with that girl from another country. God, Bertrice. God, Bernie.
Yep. All
Am
of
I
them.
not even close, by the way?
I think you're really, really close.
Someone tell us in the comments.
Burnett? Did you say
Burnett?
it's not Burnett? It's definitely not.
Bernard? Like, what were the what?
Someone's gonna tell us.
Berna. Was it Berna?
Berna.
We don't know. We don't know.
Was it Berna?
Look it up.
Berna.
Someone's be like, oh, wait, you didn't prep all of Nelson's exes before you guys went on? How dare you?
Berna. You're right. Dan, you knew this whole time, didn't you?
No, I really didn't. I really didn't.
Okay.
I came to it by guessing multiple names.
You were awakened.
I was awakened. Okay. So we're done with them. Moving on.
What's that?
We're done. Johnny and Nerese. Johnny, my gym buddy, and Nerese. I still thought they were together. They had put up Instagrams and stuff like that. But no, they're not. They hooked up the night before they just hook up. It's a hookup. It's nothing. Yeah. Johnny's not ready for anything. Nerese doesn't seem to give a shit. So there you go. More power to him.
I do think it was really funny that they hooked up the night before, and Johnny said, meanwhile, I'm blocked on everything and you're still hooking up with me. I think it's funny. Nerese is single, Johnny's single. Nerese wants to have fun, pursue what she wants, so I'm all for it. It's an innocent
she's obviously pursuing some type of modeling, acting career in LA. I saw her on a billboard for, I want to say Target or something like that. She's like this. She's like doing one of these.
Back to school?
I don't know. She's like looking behind her, like that way. It was like I think it was a Target ad.
Nice.
So she's obviously staying busy out there. Bananas and Mariah, they don't really talk too much about it, but I saw recently they completely split up. They're not even anything, which we never thought they were going to turn anything.
Yeah.
The last one, there's two more. Horatio and Laurel. They've been hanging out and hooking up too, but they're both like, I guess they're unsure of where they want to go with it. That to me is like, I don't know, I feel like you should know. I don't know. I always like, if you want to just hook up with somebody, like I know I just wanted to, when I was single, I just wanted to hook up with them. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere versus like, I'm hooking up with someone. I'm like, no, I want more than just that with this person. Yeah. So when these two people are both unsure about that, dude, Horatio's what, 25 years old?
I don't know. Great question.
Okay, Laurel is, let's just say, older than 25.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm gonna look up her age right now. I
I
I bet she's 36. Is that too crazy to say?
No, I think that sounds fair.
And so
34. 34 maybe.
I want to say
No,
most
no, no, no. Bananas just turned 30, didn't he? So she's got to
40.
be.
He turned 40, not 30, but
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. Oh my God. Duh. Wow. I'm
Laurel
about to
the
turn
Laurel
30.
the
What?
challenge age.
Really?
Hold on.
I'm gonna say
30.
34.
I've got 37 over here. I've got a 37.
Man.
37.
Could you? I jogged 3 miles today and I
Okay.
did it. I did it, but it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I'm 29. These people going on this show at 37 and being in tip top,
I know.
forming well.
He's 26. That's an 11-year age gap for the guy to the girl. Usually it's a little easier when it's reversed. So, and that's still 11 years. That's too much anyways, the other way, I feel like sometimes.
Well, it's a massive age gap in terms of maturity.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I were to mention, I think I made this joke on this show before, but like, or maybe I did it in my stand-up. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I was like, I'd be like, yeah, I can't date young girls anymore. I'm getting too old for it. Cause like we'll be having a conversation on a first date. I'll say, hey, I really love the show Full House. And she's like, well, I like Fuller House. I'm like, well, Fuller House sucks. Like, there's a gap there where it's like, wait, you
Yeah.
like Fuller House? Like, so you've never seen the original? Like, what are we doing here? Like, the original's where it was at.
You like the
So,
sequels? Did you ever see the movie Just Go With It with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston?
oh, of course, yeah.
There's
And that
like the
young girl
whole
that he dates on it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And there's the whole joke of like they said, what was the saddest day of your life? And she's like, when NSYNC broke up or Backstreet Boys or something. And
Yep.
that's when he's like, oh shit, this girl is really young
Yeah.
compared to me. But yeah, I thought it was funny that they said that because it was sad. It was sad. Harper, I think was her name.
Well, Harper, I believe, was
So
her
I
name,
can
and you're
relate.
probably around her age. So yeah, that makes sense.
Uh, um, I appreciated that Laurel was honest and she said that she also was dating somebody off the show because I think that Horatio got the bad
He
part of
did.
the edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely got the bad edit when they were just pointing the finger at him as being somebody who was dating, but Laura was too. So good thing she said on the reunion and had that honesty.
Yes. Last one is Fessy and his 4 girls.
Wait,
Michelle,
why was
Laurel.
Tori in that mix?
Huh?
Why was Tori in the 4 in the
Oh,
quad?
that's so what's weird there is it's actually technically Michelle, Laurel, Annalise, and Colleen. But you're right. When they showed Fessy in the middle of the 4, they did show Tori there because they had hooked up. Well, they had hooked up. Remember, that's why Jordan got so mad. That was the hookup that he was talking about. What girl do they leave off that grid then? If they put Tori there, there's 3, there's still 4 girls. So I don't know who they left off. I got to go back and rewatch that. But you're right. They showed Tori there instead of another one of these other girls that he had been associated with this season. So yeah.
If I was Tori, I'd be annoyed watching the reunion. I'd be like, why you gotta put me in there? That was like
Yeah,
2 years
because she wasn't a
ago.
part of this season with him, and that's what they were
Yeah.
referencing there. So that was stupid. Yeah.
And the whole thing with her crying with Jordan, and obviously they're alluding to that hookup without saying it, reading
Yes.
between the lines, and then they put her face so blatantly with it. It just felt like, come on, don't do that to
Well, that
her.
was an edit later, so
Yeah.
Jordan didn't have to see that when they were at the reunion.
Well, he's
Obviously,
seeing
I
it
would
now.
think not.
Yeah. If he's
Uh,
watching.
I wanted to mention this before we go on. I was looking at the panel of people of contestants that they had there, challengers, and I was like,
Yes.
oh wow, like over the years we've interviewed, still to date, like a lot of these challengers, like uh, Nelson, Veronica, Tori, Maria Menounos ran AfterBuzz TV when we were there. You
Yeah.
know, you interviewed Jordan, right?
Yes. Oh,
I
you weren't
wasn't
there
there
at
for
that
that.
time. That was the Paulina era. That was me, Pam, Paulina,
Okay,
and
you were there though. You interviewed Bananas.
us. Yes. Oh
I
yeah, you
wasn't there
weren't
for
there
that.
for that one? Oh yeah, that was me.
I wasn't
That
there,
was
but I
Len.
was there for Jay.
There for bananas.
I wasn't there for Bananas. I was there. I was there right after all that happened. Yeah, I came in
Oh
season 32,
wow, I have memory loss because I just
and we
am
did.
in that spot. Who the hell else?
We did 32
Like
through.
Len.
Did we do 32 through 35 or 36 at
I
AfterBuzz?
don't know. I don't like to look at my old AfterBuzz videos
or did I come
I
in?
don't know that person anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I came in at Dirty 30, or did I? Was it no, or was it? I'm trying to think what season I came in. I thought I came in on season 32, but that would mean I only did like 4 seasons there. I thought I did more.
I blacked out on half of those shows just because of nerves and just
Because I
trying
was at AfterBuzz years
to host.
before that, but I was covering like 1-hour dramas and stuff for
Ooh,
years.
that's fun.
And then I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. And my sister came in with her now husband. They were visiting and they knocked on the AfterBuzz door. They buzzed in. They let him right in because I had said, come by AfterBuzz. You should watch my show. But they didn't even tell me like when they were coming. They came right into the studio. They came in, they actually sat on the couch and watched me do one of my 1-hour drama after shows.
Cool.
So it was really cool that my sister got to actually see it live. And then while we were there, she's like, do they cover the challenge here? Because her and I are obsessed with it. I was like, yeah, they do. I'm sure they have a full panel. She's like, you should find out. Next season's coming up soon, Dan. You should find out and see if there's a spot. And because you were like on vacation for 3 months, they were
I think I was in New Jersey. Yeah, that was a
right.
time where
And they were like, well, you can fill in for Jenna until she gets back. And I was like, I'll take it. I'll do anything. Just let me be a part of it. And then somehow I weaseled my way into getting us all to stay.
Were you there? Was Paulina the lead host when you were there?
No, that was rough. You were supposed to be the lead host that season. So Pamela took over, and it was me and David Punk Rock. And oh God, what's his name?
Justin.
I like Justin. I thought he was good times. Some of the stuff he said was ridiculous, but I liked him. I thought he was always down to chat in the challenge. So
yeah.
Was Justin there the season before?
He was there, I feel like, for only a few episodes.
Okay, so he was only there for that one season. So he joined the season I did then.
Yeah, we went from having like a few people, sometimes it was just me and Pam. I remember a few episodes, and then DPR was there a lot, and then at one point you came in, and then Justin. So then we even had him on the couch, and it became
we had 5.
full.
Yeah, so that was
full.
when they were like, well, Dan, we don't want to lose you. I think they realized I did bring some value to the show. It's like, you know what? Let's just have all 5. So Justin sat on the couch that night. That was the only time we ever had the 5, though. Then someone was always missing. Someone always couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And then that following season, Justin didn't come back. So it was just the 4 of us for a season. And then you left.
Yeah,
And then I took over for what I thought was 2 more seasons. Because I figured when you left, I was like, oh, Pamela will take over because she's been here longer. And Pam didn't want to be head host. I was like, I'll run the show. And then
it was like, everyone move. I've been waiting.
No, that's not what happened. But then I was like, all right, well, well, what I said to myself, Jenna, I was like, if I'm going to be head host, I'm going to go all in. So every week I planned like a game for us to play where I did like challenge trivia. I had so much fun with it. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. I really miss AfterBuzz. There were some really good times. It was a special place for sure. I have a funny story. My first season that I did, I remember I was on a panel, Paulina, I think a guy named Mike Rippey, like it had changed so much.
Yeah.
Just like 4 episodes. Like that guy Mike was never on it again with me, or was on like 1 or 2. But I did one show as a newbie, and I was so nervous that I talked so much. I kept interjecting, stepping over people, like thinking that I could answer questions. We had a guest on, and I was like talking over our guest. It was awful.
Tell me because you remember we used to have the producer would come in after we went off air, and they would give us like, they either you don't do that again, try this next time, don't talk over each other. But by the end of it, they were coming in like, guys, you rocked, bye, and they would just leave. But do you remember, did they come in and tell you like, hey, you talked over the guest, like not to do that? Do you remember if they said anything?
So. I think that there was definitely a conversation about the crosstalk. But the thing is, from that one episode of me being nervous talking over our guest, the very next week, nobody from the panel could show up. It was just me.
I remember you told me you did
a show ever.
You did a solo.
And it was with Corey. Not only did I do a solo, I had a solo after show with Corey Wharton, who I booked the previous week, thinking like the heat's not going to be on me. I'm not the lead host. Let me book him. Let's get him on. Let's get some traction for our show. No one could show up that day. It was just me and Corey. I was so nervous.
I bet you and Pussy, I bet you and Corey had a great chat. I bet it was because he seems super chill.
Yes. He was, it was great. I think it went well, but it just like the nerves of, it was my second show.
I hear,
and,
no, I get it. Yeah, I hear you.
And AfterBuzz was just to like play and see if you want to keep going, like dip your feet, get comfortable being on camera, try to be a host. I just want to try it out.
So here, I got a similar story real quick for you. The first show I ever did was this show called Six on the History Channel. It was about like army guys or whatever. And I just picked it up just to have a show on at AfterBuzz. I didn't care what it was about. I just wanted to just get my feet wet. It had a lead host. They had another girl. And then I sat as far on the, like, if you're looking at the panel, I wanted to be on the right, because the lead host is on the left. I was like, I just want to be on the right. I want to put my 2 cents in, make some jokes, and go home and just get my feet wet. We do the first show. I'm making my little jokes. That's all. It's all well and good. That next week, we get a call from Brianna, who is the blonde girl.
Brianna. Yep.
She was always so nice.
Yeah.
She hit me up, and this other girl, Sally, who was the other host there. She's like, your lead host quit. She can't make the drive anymore to AfterBuzz. Which one of you wants to be lead host? I was like, this is my second week ever even at AfterBuzz. Never even done a hosting gig in this setting before. But I volunteered to do it, and I was lead host for that show for 2 seasons. Then I did lead host for Prison Break for 1 or 2 seasons, and then I did the challenge for 4 more. Wow. And then and then I had my own show there called TikTok Doc, where I was doing top 5 TikTok videos where I wore like a doctor outfit, and I was the TikTok Doc, and I would break down these. It was also, I could just talk about Idiot Box Boys, which was my TikTok. I got to show one of my TikTok videos every week on the show. And I did like 4 episodes of that. And then guess what happened?
Canceled.
Pandemic hit.
And
then I didn't have my own show anymore.
The show that everyone didn't know that they needed. But TikTok.
It could have turned into something, I feel like. They were putting it all over the social media for AfterBuzz. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Well, and then it was gone forever.
R.I.P. TikTok Doc.
All right. Let's get into a couple final things here. Maria gets super emotional. Mm-hmm. That hit me. I was like, Maria can't even get through her sentence because she lost her mother unexpectedly, like Nani lost her mother unexpectedly. So I thought that was a really powerful moment. That was really real. To go back to what you said at the beginning, there were a lot of real moments this reunion, and I thought that was one of them. So I thought that was really beautiful to see 2 people just naturally missing a loved one, because I know I have a few loved ones that I miss, and they obviously miss their moms. So yeah,
it's a shared human experience. Yeah.
There was also Amber B said that she's been diagnosed as autistic. I think that's happening more and more with people, because that spectrum is really broad. It's a really wide spectrum, and if you even hit a corner of it, they diagnose you with it. I feel bad that she got so emotional about it, because it really, I don't think it's going to change how anyone views her, and I don't think that it should. And I used to work with autistic kids, very low functioning, and I just, she has nothing to worry about. Like, honestly, like, yeah, you have you get nervous in a social setting. Like, a lot of people that aren't diagnosed as autistic have that same feeling. Like, I can be awkward in certain social settings if I don't know everybody. We all have those nervous tendencies. So I just feel bad that she got so upset. That I almost feel like, come on, Doc, like, to throw that name on her, to say that she's autistic, like, I feel like it's going to hit someone harder than it has to, because that word is so, it's set with like someone that is like very low functioning. Like, it's set with someone there where it doesn't, that it's such a broad spectrum. Like I have OCD, right? But it doesn't run my life. Like, because I'm on one side of the spectrum. Like, there's some people that have OCD that it's like they can't function on a daily freaking basis because of it. Like, I've got it, and I'm like, I just live with it. It's fine. I'll be okay. So like, I don't think she needs to, I think she just got emotional maybe because she just got diagnosed with it. And I think she'll come to terms and be fine, but yeah.
There's definitely different levels of severity, but I think
Oh yeah.
what I felt so strongly for her and wanted to give her a hug is that I think it was so emotional for her to figure out, have the revelation of understanding why she's felt the way that she has for her
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Understanding yourself, like people who suffer with being bipolar as well, they feel like they can't control their emotions, and then just having the understanding of somebody telling them like, well, what you're feeling is warranted. This is why you feel this way. It's your brain chemistry. It's your, how this works in your body. So for her feeling like, oh, now I have an answer as to why I've done the certain
Which is
thing,
why
why
I just
had these tics.
I don't want it to define her. I want her to actually take it the way you just said it, which is, oh, I actually have an answer to why I feel this way now, so I can improve on that and work on the stuff, instead of the way that she took it. She seemed like she was just so upset by it, or maybe those were tears of joy, I hope, for like, she's like, oh, I actually know why I felt that way all these years in her 34 years of life. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't want to assume exactly
Right.
what's running through her mind, but I could just imagine again, like living your life for 30 plus years and then finding something out about yourself that you didn't know before is really emotional. It's really a lot to unpack. So I think she's going through all of that. And I think, as she's saying, she's scared about judgment. She's scared about people changing their minds about her. And she's just trying to figure it out still. When I think at that point in life, you think that you're supposed to know yourself,
Sure.
be that or the other. But now she's realizing, she's been diagnosed with something. So it's definitely, it's like, in her way, in her view, it's life changing of how she sees herself and her identity now. She needs to like go through that. But that was really shocking and emotional, and I'm glad she talked about it.
Speaking of talked, you know who didn't talk one time the whole reunion?
Chauncey until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, name someone that I wasn't even going to mention because he actually had.
Darrell and Veronica never talked.
They did talk in the first part one a little bit, very, very briefly. But I'm telling you right now, Jenna, there's someone. Devin, that was another disappointment. That's still not who I'm talking about. Yeah, Devin barely said anything. Isn't that sad? Like, he was a champ. He didn't really have any wise cracks. He didn't have any of that stuff. He wasn't really fighting with anyone this season. I feel like he didn't have like a villain to like kind of go at the reunion.
Oh.
Jenna, before you say the name, zero words came out of this dude's mouth. Insanity.
Not one thing. Not one.
I don't even want to say his name. I don't even want to say it.
I almost aspire to be that way, because do you ever just feel like,
well, he got paid. He literally got paid to sit there. He got paid to sit in. That's a front row seat.
And do you ever feel like on Zoom meetings for work, or like, I don't know, just anywhere in life, you feel like you need to contribute, even though sometimes it's like, well, make sure what you're saying is actually of value and important. But then sometimes you're like, no, I just have to, like, I have to be involved. I'll just say something. So, you know what? Good for him for just being so like, if I don't have anything to say.
Well, it almost brings me back to like my 10th grade English class, which was like almost purely based on class participation. Like, we'd read a freaking book. And like, you literally had to say something in class like every day, like at least one thought that you had about what we read the night before for homework.
You just had to like say anything.
So I just say anything. And then you had like 4 tests all year plus class participation. I'm like, I'm going to fail this freaking class. So every day I had to like make up some bullshit just so I could pass this stupid class in high school. I was like, give me a test. 4 tests all semester. That's like 25% of tests. That's BS, Jenna.
I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of it. Less studying.
But the pressure's on. I'd rather have like 10 tests at 10%.
Yeah. But in Kenny's defense, he was never asked anything. He was never asked anything. Maria did not point one question his way.
You know why? There was nothing to ask this dude.
I'm sure they asked him something that just didn't make air because it was boring. I'm sure that with your sister.
You know what? I'll say this.
Sister in this world,
I'm less mad at Kenny. I'm more mad at Casey, actually, because every time she talked, it was nothing. She said nothing with her words. I'm like, stop talking. If Nani wasn't here, you'd have nothing to talk about. My God, I don't care, Casey. I don't care. Go home. If she does not appear in next season, I will be just pumped out of my mind. But you know damn well they're bringing her back. Oh, isn't she appearing on freaking the World Champions too? Isn't she going to be there?
I don't know. I don't know what's up with that.
God, I hope she's not there.
Uncharted territory for me. I just hope that.
So, Jenna, I guess that's my last question for you. Are you gonna show up next week and be here for the premiere of World Champions? I know I can get Pamela down.
Yeah, no, I definitely am gonna watch and want to and totally want to review with you guys. Yeah.
You are a busy lady. I understand.
We all are.
Yeah, it is true. I am.
Yeah,
I'm very busy as well.
But we'll talk schedule stuff.
We'll talk schedules. All right. So you heard it here. There's maybe almost, I don't know, 80% chance Jenna will be here. We need
pleading the fifth.
Well, that's there you go.
Because I'm a lawyer now, so I know what these terms mean. So
good.
I'm
good.
Attorney.
You're the voice of reason, as the people told me in the comment section. You're the only one. Dan, you're off your rocker.
Please don't. I can't.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I can't listen to our shows after they're up. I don't want to hear my voice. I don't want to hear what I said. So thanks for listening.
I go right to the comment section and I just laugh my butt off from the stuff that people write about me. It's great. Maybe this week I'll get a comment where someone's like, you know what, Dan, I like that take that you had. I'm like, oh, thank you so much.
Someone give Dan love if you agree with him.
It's funny too, though, because it doesn't. You think it would bother me, but it doesn't, because why do they keep watching it though, Jenna? They keep watching me for a reason.
We don't really have hate. It's not like AfterBuzz. AfterBuzz, we got some mean comments. Those people just haven't found us yet, though. They haven't found us yet, because every once in a while in the comment section you see someone think, "Oh my God, you're still doing this? This is great." Yeah,
so that's nice when they find us. Anyways, I got some nice comments when I wasn't there, because I read the comments because they all said, "Congrats, Dan. You must have mentioned that I was getting married last week."
Big love to you and Stacy.
We are very happy, and we're probably going to watch an episode of Perfect Match right now and then go to bed.
Do it.
We are. It's great. It's on Netflix, so that's my pick of the week. Perfect Match.
Who's your favorite couple?
Well, it's got to be right now. It's got to be Dom and that Australian chick.
Yeah, I like both.
But see, you don't know how far I am yet, though. Did you watch the whole season? We're not done yet.
Yeah, I think I'm up to date because there was a new drop, right, of like a few episodes. So I haven't watched the new.
We haven't got to where they're like cut me off, where they're gonna release them in 3 days. So we're not even caught up to the drop yet. We're still going. But right now, Dom and the Australian girl, for damn sure, I can't think of her name.
Yeah. It's funny because I asked you the question, but asking who's your favorite couple is kind of like ridiculous because the couples are so fleeting. They're not couples. Yeah, they're not couples.
I can't stand that Kaleidoscope girl, whatever her name is. Kaleidoscope.
Why can't you? Why?
Stacey and I are dying laughing watching how absurd she is.
Yeah, she's a character.
I met Joey actually at an event I was doing years ago because you tried to get me to watch The Damn Circle. I watched one episode, couldn't do it. I know, but I met Joey and he's actually a really nice, down to earth guy. And then you see him on these shows and he's acting a fool. It's like, come on, he's not like that in real life. He's just he was super. He's like, thank you so much for the photo, man. Really appreciate you. Have a great day. And we chatted about some other stuff, but he was never like, you know. He wasn't Jersey at all. He was just chill.
That was very Jim Carrey of you.
Well, I've been told that before. So
that was really great. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I think Joey is trying to play into that East Coast Pauly D character. Although less now, he did it way more on The Circle.
Oh, see, and then that's what I remember too. When I had met him, this obviously show wasn't out, and I only remembered it from The Circle, and I was like, dude, in my head, I'm like, you're nothing like this Joey guy in The Circle. All right, well, we'll let you go, Jenna. I'm gonna go too. I got some TV to watch and some food to eat.
Congrats again. Congrats, wedding
Thank you so much. Yes, Turks and Caicos is coming up for our honeymoon, but not for a couple months. We got a puppy coming in 2 weeks. We're getting a puppy. I'm gonna have the puppy. I'm gonna hold the puppy on air for us.
You just really you wanted to sign that paper and put
We're
that ring
ready.
on, and it's
We're,
dog
we're
time.
trying for kids. No, I'll update people if that ever happens. But yeah, we're trying to, yeah, we're ready. We're redoing the whole kitchen living room area. That place is it's
Oh
almost
my
done
God.
now, but it's been a mess out there.
Making moves quickly. Like, why don't you just relax and like bask in the fact that you're married for more
Once
than
this
5
kitchen's
days?
done, once this kitchen's done, I'm basking.
Okay.
I mean, you at your house was
You're
a
actually base. What's the thing when you drizzle with
basking. Oh,
basking? Basking or
basing the turkey.
basing. You're actually basing. Okay, just forget it.
But
Forget everything.
your house was going through stuff for a long time. You're finally settled in.
It's settled in. It's still going through things.
See, you're still going through
But
stuff. It's never
yeah,
ending, these house journey
but
we're on
I'm
right
not
now.
motivated to do anything about it where you are. I'm like, that's for
I'm
next weekend.
super motivated. I love it.
Good.
Yeah. And I love making her happy. That's the other thing too. So
Oh my gosh.
I know. I
I'm gonna
love it.
throw up.
Can't
All
help it.
right.
All right.
Ooh.
We'll see y'all next week. World Championship, whatever the hell it's called. I'll know the title next week when I actually watch it. We're going to cover it right here on YouTube. I think it's on Wednesday, so we'll probably cover it Wednesday night or Thursday morning, either one. All right. Bye, guys.